Hello, 8th graders. It's Mr. K. Hope all is well. Happy Friday. Yeah, we made it to the end of the week. Hope your week has been a good one. And with each passing day, we're getting more and more familiar with our current situation, not only in art, but in all of our classes. So I hope that you've been able to follow along with these how to draw lessons. I'm enjoying them. It allows me to stay connected to you and with you, and it allows me to keep doing what I really truly enjoy, and that is teaching kids how to create. Okay, so without further ado, here we are with our drawing from the other day. This is basically where we left off. So I got my number 2 pencil. I've got a blending stump today, and if you recall, we used them quite a bit as we were working on our portraiture in school. So the blending stump is such a simple yet effective tool in helping us create really nice shadows. If you don't have a blending stump, and I'm going to guess that you probably don't, you can use a small rolled up piece of paper, roll it up to as pointy a tip as you can. You can use a tissue, a Kleenex. If all else fails, you can use your finger, and that can help you blend out some of the graphite into a shadowy form. Okay, so here we go. What I'm going to do is I'm going to begin by, speaking of the blending stump, putting some graphite in these tower windows, just rubbing my pencil around. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the blending stump and I'm going to use it to create a shadowy appearance inside these windows. I hope you enjoyed yesterday's YouTube video on the inside of a medieval castle. I found that video quite entertaining and very interesting. I liked how the narrator was asking questions throughout, and I hope that it was able to provide some inspiration for how you're going to add details to your particular piece of art. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to add a little 3D-ness or three-dimensionality to this particular wall. I'm not going to make the edge quite as drastic as the edges of these walls, because this one's higher up and chances are you won't see a whole lot of the edge of this wall. But I am going to put an edge in there just the same. So I'm going to connect those two 45-degree angles that we've been talking about. And don't be afraid to turn your page like I'm doing here. I'm going to connect these lines. This guy here, he's going to come on over and just disappear. These guys are going to connect. These two lines will meet up. And this top edge will come the whole way across. If you like, you can sharpen those up with a ruler. I'm going to erase traces of the original towers. And let me put that line back with a ruler. just to give it a straight edge. There we are. And where's the other one? Right here. Let me put that back with a straight edge also. Okay. Excellent. That looks kind of cool. All right. So, what I'm also going to do here is I am going to put a light source in just at the very edge of our drawing, because later on I want to add some clouds. So I'm taking the edge of a coffee mug here, and I'm just going to use it to create, we'll say that that's the sun. Alright? That's our light source. If you have any type of an object that you can trace, that's anything close to a circle, a cup, a lid, a can, whatever, I would say use that to put in some kind of a light source in your sky. Let me go over this a little more extensively. You probably noticed by now that I turn my pages quite a bit while I'm working, and I encourage you to do the same. Just provide you with an additional level of comfort that will allow you to create some of the finer details that otherwise you could not. Okay, now, speaking of that light source, it may affect some cloud-like structures that I'm putting into the sky. And all I did was I went round and round connecting either smiley shapes or frowny shapes. And I'm kind of going around them again with these gestural edges, because I'm going to eventually smear some of the graphite together. And I'm just dreaming these shapes up as I go. There's nothing too scientific about it. I'm just moving my pencil around. I'm going to put the edge of this cloud right in there. Alright, so before I do any inner workings of the clouds, let me go around these gestural edges with my blending stump and haze them up, fog them up, give them a nice cloud-like appearance. I always enjoy using a blending stump. It provides such a nice technique, such a nice effect to our drawings. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of turn my pencil a little bit sideways, and I'm just going to put some random squigglies inside the cloud, wherever your imagination guides your hand. That's where those little squigglies should go. There's no right or wrong. Just kind of go with it as your pencil puts it down. And then back to the blending stump. Going to rub it around on these squigglies and turn them into the final version of our clouds. Okay, I like that. That's kind of cool. I'm even going outside the cloud a little bit with some of the foggy, hazy effects. Okay, very nice. Now some of you'll decide to add color to these drawings. And let's say you're using colored pencil. You can take that colored pencil and you can rub it all around the outside edge of those clouds, and that'll really look very nice. Okay, I could mess around with this drawing all day, but again, I got to watch the time. If I get too long-winded, the video takes too long to upload and it makes too much for you kiddos to watch. So I'm going to keep myself moving along here. Okay, let's see. Let's go to the terrain around the castle. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, this castle is supposed to look as though it's assembled and built right into the hillside. So again, with the squiggly lines, they will be representing the landscape, the terrain, the area where this castle has been built. And like I said, it's been built directly into the hillside. And hills will run into other hills, and oftentimes when they do, you get these little cast shadows because one bump of a hill will cast a shadow on a second bump in a hill. And you can go in there with your blending stump as well, just like you did with the clouds. And I'm going to put some other random lines in here to suggest some rough terrain. Okay. Take blending stump, move it around, create some nice landscaped creations. Take a little bit of the top edge off of this hill here. And these are things you can do on the fly as you experiment with your art. Let me bring this castle wall down so that it meets with the hillside. Darkening that top edge just a little bit. See, this is where you can really make your artwork come to life. All these little finer details take a good piece of art and turn it into a great piece of art. Okay, moving along here. Let me bring this wall down here. Just notice that. I'm going to make sure it meets with the terrain out in front of it. I'm going to flatten that guy out just a little bit. Okay. I'm going to also take my pencil and I'm going to put a little shadowy piece on the back edge of each tower. And all I'm doing is I'm trying to imagine where there might be some dark areas in my artwork. So if my light source, sorry, I might have been off the camera there a little bit. If my light source is over here, there's going to be some shadows on the opposite side. So let me work some in here. How about some over here? How about some on the edge of that triangular piece? I already have some back here, but how about on this mini tower? How about over here on this back edge? Everywhere you think the sun would not be, that's where you should put some shadows. I'm not putting shadows here on top because the sun would illuminate the top part to those castle walls. Okay? Alright, we're almost to our final details. I mean, trust me, I could go on and on and on with this thing, but I won't. A couple final suggestions. I'm not going to tell you how to finish this thing off, whether or not to use color. That's your decision. But I think color is always a nice option. So let's say you were going to add color. You could really enhance the beautiful sky with some blues, some purples. Maybe you want to make it a warm colored sky and go with some yellows, oranges, even reds. These are all decisions that you're going to have to make. Hey, how about in the video where it showed the archer firing off arrows? All kind of historical references in that YouTube video from the other day that I really, really enjoyed. Alright, a couple final details here and then we'll call it a day. I'm going to put the impression of some bricks on the tops of these tower structures. I think that will add a cool look to them. Okay. Something's telling me to darken this line right here also. See, when you give your structure some sharp edges, it really stands out against the background. So that's what I'm trying to do here. Okay. Now, I'm going to end it here very, very soon. One last little detail that you could explore. This would take a lot of patience, but it might look kind of neat. And that would be to compact random stones all around your design. Because if you watched that YouTube video the other day, and they showed the castle structure, it was made up of thousands of stones. So, like I said, that would require a ton of patience on your part. But the end result, I think, would be fabulous. Okay, these are all decisions that you're going to have to make, and I am very much looking forward to your castle designs. Without being too much longer or long-winded here, I just wanted to tell you and give you an update on our friend Adrian. So let me just pull the story over real quick. It said, now you recall that the chef's payment was given directly to Adrian from the master artist, and it was used by Adrian in setting up his own studio, which he did. And it says he started right in on painting the castle. However, he soon discovered when he could not sell a single painting that the king was feared throughout the land, and no one wanted a picture of the castle. Just about the time that Adrian's money was almost gone, two more people from the castle showed up. It was the royal baker and the king's tailor, and they had asked Adrian to paint their portraits. Let me show you this beautiful landscape here. It's wonderful, and you can see the castle in the distance. We'll close with this.